What's up? What's good? It's your boy, Tommy Springfield, hollering at y'all, going live. Y'all know that's something I don't normally do, but you know, it's a special occasion. But before I get into all that, what I really want to know is,
Yeah, I kind of put the coat.
how you doing? I hit the wrong button. So let me say it again. What I really want to know is, how y'all doing out there, man? Like I said, I don't normally go live, but the boy Diddy is on the run, as you can see on the screen. Diddy on video, pacing at the airport. This is a video of them saying him pacing at the airport. Diddy, they done raid the cribs. Diddy on the run. Let's check it out. Diddy at the airport, pacing back and forth. Oh yeah, Diddy in super stress mode. They at the cribs.
I guess
They
you wonder what's going to happen next, Diddy.
but turn right around. Like if he heard dude or seen him recording. Excuse me. Got me look like he might be crying and shit. Excuse me. But yeah, so
With eBay Authenticity Guarantee, it's checked by experts.
they saying Diddy on the run, man. They saying they don't know where the boy at. Playing. What else? Let's go over here and see what TMZ, others line is saying. Love Air private jet track amid raids down on the Caribbean island. So Diddy Holmes was raided in the U.S. to kick off the week, but the guy's own private jet is miles away in a completely different nation. Although it is unclear if he is on board himself. TMZ, let me make this bigger. TMZ has tracked Diddy's personal Love Air LLC jet, the well-known black Gulfstream 5 that Diddy has flown in and flown for years now, and it looks like the aircraft is currently on the ground in Antigua, which is down in the Caribbean. Based on a flight activity viewed by TMZ, Diddy's flight has been up and down California between Sunday and Monday, taking off from Sacramento Executive Airport Sunday evening around 5:30 and landing at Palm Springs International Airport about an hour later. An hour after that, around 7:30 p.m., Diddy's jet took off from Palm Springs yet again and landed at Van Nuys Airport, which is in the LA area. About 30 minutes later, around 8 p.m. Pacific time, around 9 p.m. Pacific time Monday, the jet took off again from LA and landed at some point in Antigua. Diddy definitely making a run for it. See what this video about.
This is her. Black excellence.
Oh,
All
this
black
just
everything.
a video showing off his jet.
All black
That's all.
crew. Greatest pilots in the world. Yes, sir. And we going south.
The plane is currently grounded there, although the flight data is yet to update and register him has officially landed. In any case, it's definitely Diddy's jet, no question. The only remaining answer is whether Diddy is on the plane. We don't have any evidence he is at this point. So nobody know where Diddy at. He was seen at the airport in Miami, but Diddy ain't no dummy. Clearly Diddy was tipped off. And Diddy just sent his jet flying around so people could chase that. Diddy somewhere laid up, or he done got on somebody that he know rich person's plane, and he over there with Russell Simmons somewhere. I mean, if he's smart, he better be, but Yo, he left the kids, man. The kids, that's pretty messed up and shady. Where in the world is Diddy? Diddy done left the kids, y'all. Diddy's on the run. He done left the kids. And he like, man, I ain't got time for all that. But, Diddy got all these issues because, the Cassie lawsuit. And this article right here says Diddy's son's arrested after rapper. You notice how when Diddy was in good grace with everybody, he was the rap mogul. You feel me? But 50 said this: when you do something bad, you become the rapper. You no longer a mogul or a mo. But it says Diddy's son's arrested after rappers LA and Miami homes raided, photos surface. Rapper Sean Diddy Combs' homes in Los Angeles and Miami was raided by the Homeland Security. See, that's important too, right there. Homeland Security. Them dudes only come for terrorism and like sex trafficking and. So when they come, it's serious. That's like bigger than the FBI. That's like, yeah, it's serious. But Homeland Security on Monday, pictures of sons King and Justin handcuffs surface. Entertainment website TMZ reported the officers have shut down the entire area of Diddy's LA residence. Helicopters could be seen swarming and dozens of police vehicles are on the ground. Rapper Sean Diddy Combs' home was raided. Pictures of his sons, that's Diddy's sons, right there, cuffed up. Diddy said, hey, man, Diddy be watching the movies. In the movie with Al Pacino, when they was robbing, he said, don't love nothing more, that you can't leave it within 30 seconds when you see the man coming. Man, Diddy got gone, boy. He probably ain't kissed him. He probably told them kids he was going to the store. Yeah, I'll be back. I'm going to the store. When you knew, Diddy knew he needed to take one of his sons because he was named in the lawsuit. So he should have known at least one of them was hot. He knew. But maybe did he talk to his boys? Maybe he told them dudes, yo, they coming. And maybe they was like, Dad, we'll take the charge. Don't worry about it. We got this. We young. You hold, Dad. They know their daddy's softer than the motherfucking baby's hiney. See, that's that story. Let's look at some videos.
Breaking news, the Department of Homeland Security has just confirmed to CNN that federal law enforcement agents have raided properties owned by musician and producer Sean Diddy Combs. Let's bring in CNN security correspondent Josh Campbell and CNN legal analyst Joey Jackson. Josh, let me start with you. What do these raids by federal agents in multiple locations tell you about the seriousness of this investigation?
Yeah, Wolf, a very significant development here, seeing this law enforcement action taking place. I'll point out, just to be clear at the outset, we don't know that Sean Diddy Combs himself is the subject or target of a federal investigation. So it's just worth pointing that out at this hour. But what we do know is that two properties associated with him, we saw the feds descend on those properties. We saw on aerial footage, federal agents both here in the Los Angeles area as well as in Miami at those residences. Now, the Department of Homeland Security, their what's called HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, gave CNN a statement. I'll read you part of that when asked about what this activity is. They say that earlier today, HSI New York executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation with assistance from HSI Los Angeles, HSI Miami, and our local law enforcement partners. That is it, confirming that they are conducting what they're deeming law enforcement action, which could indicate search warrants being conducted there, could indicate arrests being conducted. We just don't know at this hour specifically specifically what that law enforcement action is. It is worth pointing out, though, that Combs himself obviously has faced significant legal woes in recent months. I'll give you just a kind of the highlights of what actually occurred. In November, he was sued for rape and abuse by a former partner. That lawsuit was then settled very quickly, but in December, he faced sexual assault allegations in a complaint filed in the Southern District of New York. The suit was brought by a woman referred to as Jane Doe, who said that she was 17 at the time when these allegations took place back in 2003. He was accused of sex trafficking and gang rape, among other allegations, also in that suit naming 2 of his associates. Of course, Combs denied any wrongdoing there. And then just last month, a former employee of Combs filed a suit also in the state of New York, accusing him of sexual assault, of sexual harassment, and, quote, grooming. That former employee stated that he had worked for Combs between 2022 and 2023. Among those allegations, this former employee, a male employee, said that Combs did not compensate him for his music production work and forced him to procure and interact with sex workers, threatened him with serving alcoholic beverages laced with drugs to guests at parties at Combs' home. And then Combs' son, Justin Combs, was also accused of soliciting prostitutes and underage girls at his father's homes. Again, the Combs have denied any wrongdoing, but just a series of allegations that we've seen taking place. Final point, Wolf, I'll note, is that while we don't know the specific allegations or why the feds are at these residences, it is worth pointing out the agency that is conducting this law enforcement activity. It's not the FBI, it's not the DEA or the ATF. This is HSI, Homeland Security Investigations. For those unfamiliar, this is an agency that has long been the forefront specifically at human trafficking investigations. So although we don't have the specifics yet, we're starting to we can glean just based on which agency has the lead, the direction this might go. But again, we don't yet know that Combs himself was the target of the investigation, Wolf. We do know that at the end.
I don't even know if R. Kelly was arrested by Homeland Security. I think R. Kelly cases are just federal. But yo, could you imagine R. Kelly and P. Diddy? Imagine them being on the same unit or even being roommates. Because they can possibly be in the same federal prison. That would be the craziest shit ever. Diddy and R. Kelly roommates. Could you imagine the late night stories, the crying? They probably would make a pact to unalive themselves together. Because, if you watch Gene Deal said Puffy couldn't handle life when he was going through the last trial. Puffy couldn't handle life when J-Lo broke up with him. Man. And see, that's the problem. Diddy got all them lawsuits. Look, this is one right here. This is the one by Little Rod Jones. He got, I'm sorry folks, I'm a little blind, so brother gotta put on his glasses. So we got Sean Combs, we got Justin Dior Combs, we got Ethiopia, whatever, Lucienne, we got Chalice Recording Studios, Love Records, Motown Records, Universal Music Groups, Clones Global Enterprise, John and Jane Doe's 1 through 10, and ABC Corporations 1 through 10. So it says plaintiff Rodney Little Rod Jones, Mr. Jones, hereby alleges as and for his complaint against defendant Diddy Combs. This is 73 pages, as you can see, so I'm just going to scan through a lot of it. But defendant Justin Dior Combs, that's his son, and all these people, we not going to go through all the names, but the court has a personal jurisdiction over the defendants under the consistence with the constitutional requirements of due process, and that the defendant is acting directly or through his agents or apparent agents committed one or more of the following: the transactions of any business within the state, the making of any contact within the state, the commission of torturous acts within this district in the ownership, use, or possession of any real estate in the state. From September 2022 to the date of this filing, defendants have consistently and purposely availed themselves of the privilege of conducting activities within New York, thus invoking the benefits and protections of New York law. In return for these benefits and protections, defendants must submit to the burdens of legitimates in New York. I know the words, I just can't get it out. The litigations arise from or relates to the torturous activities defendants visited upon defendants in the states of New York, California, Florida, and United States Virgin Islands. The torturous conduct violates United States federal RICO laws, requiring defendants to litigate these claims in this district does not offend traditional notions of fair play and substantial justice. Plaintiffs' claims arose from some conduct occurred by defendants in New York. Parties: Rodney Jones, Lil Rod, the American artist and music producer. Mr. Jones resides in the states of New York and California. Defendant Sean Combs is a rapper and record executive, properly known by his stage name Puff Daddy, Puffy, P. Diddy, Diddy, Brother Love, or Love. Mr. Combs came to the fame in early 1990s. We ain't gotta go through all that. We know all that. Mr. Combs resides at 200 South Mapleton Drive, Beverly Hills, California, 90024. I guess we just gave out Diddy's address. That's what we do. Look at this picture. I thought that was DMX. Who that, DMX? But, I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to break it up. Let's see. Let's listen to some of this.
Due to sexual in nature, physical and emotional in nature as well. So we kind of tied that into this. We don't want to directly link them, but I want to give you the context anyway. As far as we are concerned, we're going to be getting a little bit more on this from our friend, legal affairs journalist there in Los Angeles, Megan Cuniff, who has been following all of this when it comes to Diddy. She joins me. Megan, good to see you. I immediately thought of you when Sky Fox was over the home there in Holmby Hills of Diddy, and we were watching in real time HSI agents detain people, break in essentially to raid the home. They probably had warrants to conduct their search of this massive property. I mean, it's one of the most beautiful mansions I think I've ever seen in this very, very affluent area of Los Angeles. Little did we know, Megan, the very same thing was happening in real time at his home in Miami. How did we get here today, Megan?
Well, I mean, rich people getting their house raided by the cops, there always has to be something that led to that, right? Sure. And what we have here is some really serious allegations that were put forth in civil lawsuits. And I think the question that everyone has been waiting for over the months has been, is there a criminal investigation? How much more serious is this going to get for Diddy? And this is our first solid confirmation that, yeah, this is extremely serious. This is a criminal investigation, and it looks like a very, very big criminal investigation. Just from the presence of the law enforcement officers. Of course, that has to do with the sheer size of the property. But I think we're only getting into the tip of the iceberg of a possible, of a definite major criminal investigation into Diddy that's really going to put all the lawsuits on hold and kind of put a spotlight on to what kind of criminal indictment could he eventually face from this.
Yeah, I found it so interesting because we have not heard here at Live Now or Fox from anyone associated with Diddy, his legal team, Diddy himself. We don't know where he is. I just want to make that point. But you see there the level and the scope of this raid. This was the same.
So they raided Diddy's home in Los Angeles and Miami. Diddy's plane has landed in a Caribbean spot, but no one knows if he's on it. No one knows where he's at. They probably got Diddy. Diddy probably giving it all up. But we gonna go back to the lawsuit over here. So we talking about the defendant, Justin Derrick Combs, the son of Mr. Combs and Misa Hilton. Jay Combs was born on December 30th, 1993. Jay Combs is a producer and an actor. He's appeared in TV series like Catfish, the TV show Wild 'N Out, and Hip Hop Squares. Defendant Justin Deere Combs resides at 1550 NL Central Ave, Los Angeles, California, 90028. So, got his own little crib. Must be a couple blocks over from Papa, 'cause they got different area codes. Defendant Charles, CEO of Defendant Universal Music Group. Defendant Lucien Charles Grange resides at, they just giving out everybody's address. These are all the people charged. Former CEO, Defendant of Motown Records, the parent company. Ethiopia, whatever her name is, last name, and she's chief of staff to Sean Combs, Global Enterprise. Her address, Christian Coleram, chief of staff to Diddy. He got two chief of staff, so he need two. Yeah. Motown Records, Universal Groups. Hey man, if you're looking to get on, to go to address to Motown Records, located at 1750 Vine Street, Los Angeles, California. She was the chairman and CEO of Universal Music. It says was. But up here, she the chief of staff of Diddy. So did she lose her job at Universal, at Motown, or did they send her over there to watch Diddy? See, Diddy was surrounded by all these people. Defendant units, a record record label, principal place of business located. They go Universal Music Group. You want to sell your soul to the devil? They go their address. Love Records was founded by Mr. Combs and Defendant Motown Records. Combs Enterprises is a diverse portfolio of businesses and investments that include music, fashion, fragrance, beverages, marketing, film, television. You know, dude was smart because what he was doing was he was just going after all Diddy's money that he learned over the time that he was with Diddy, because these dudes and these rappers be smart. Like, you can shoot a rapper. Oh, I'm shooting Puffy. Puffy punch me in the face. But then you find out Puffy is LLC'd up. All his money is in businesses. It says his personal wealth is nothing. Now you done sued the wrong person. You didn't sue none of his businesses or his companies. But as we move on, Rodney Little Rod Jones. Rodney Little Rod Jones is from Windy City, Chicago. He was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. Mr. Jones is the second oldest son and fourth child out of 9 siblings. Sheesh. Mr. Jones comes from a long time gospel music influencers. He plays instruments. We know when, you know, that ain't the juicy stuff people want to hear. You know, but this is his background. He was considered a musical prodigy. Mr. Jones has worked the south side of Chicago music scene, playing with the following legendary greats: Georgia Mass Choir, Donald Lawrence, the Clark Sisters, and the Smoke Norfolk. On or about December 22nd, Mr. Jones received a call from Mr. Combs. Diddy was like, yo, what's up, sweet cheeks? What's good with you, bro? Yo, I want to follow your boss, homie. Pause, bro. I'm just kidding. And he fell for it. You know, a lot of these dudes want to act like, or these females, oh, well, he did this to me, he did that. From what I learned, ain't nobody gonna do nothing you don't want them to do to you. I'm gonna say that again. from the way I learned and was raised, ain't nobody gonna do what you don't let them do. Like when a guy cheats on his girl over and over and over, she lets him cheat over and over and over. There's no repercussions. She doesn't do anything. She doesn't stop him from cheating. She knows and she keeps it secret and he knows, or he scares her and wraps her up. And so, like I said, people wanted to be around Diddy and they wanted the fame, they wanted the limelight, and they didn't like what they had to do. Orlando Brown said it best, you know, to be successful and hang around successful people is like getting hazed, you know. And we all heard in these college frats the hazing done went too far, and you be mad. And that's the same thing with Diddy and them. People want to hang around Diddy, they want to be famous, they want to be next to Brother Love, and the hazing goes too far, and then you be mad. You be mad when he don't want you no more, or he moves on to the next chick, because that's all this be about. These don't be his current girls, they be ex-girls. They be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 girls back. See, the current girls, they okay with the hazing because they want the limelight. They want to be famous. You see how that works? People want the limelight. They want to be famous. But then as soon as the light ain't shining on them and Diddy moves on, it's like he moved on from Cassie or she moved on from him. But then she wanted to circle back for that bag. Why? Because she didn't have a career. She realized I was just Diddy piece. I was just Diddy chick. Without Diddy, ain't nothing popping. I'm shut down. I'm blackballed. I'm cut out. I can't get on. I can't get a song played. I can't do anything. I gotta sue now. And that's what everybody doing. They mad that the man moved on. Allegedly, he moved on. And, you know, not saying he ain't did none of these things, but a lot of people was in on these things when he did these things. But, so like I said, he received a call from Diddy requesting that he produce several songs on a rhythm and blues album titled The Love Album, Off the Grid. Mr. Jones agreed, and his life has been detrimentally impacted ever since. From September 22nd to November 2023, Mr. Jones produced 9 songs on Mr. Cole's Love album. Mr. Jones lived with Mr. Combs for months at a time, spending holidays, birthdays, and missing major family events. Mr. Jones resided at Mr. Combs' residence located in Los Angeles, California, New York City, and Miami, Florida. Mr. Jones also spent several weeks on a yacht rented by Mr. Combs in the Virgin Islands. Throughout this time, Throughout his time with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones witnessed, experienced, and endured many things that went far beyond his role as a producer of the Love album. Now, you see how that works out? Once again, this is way back in September 2022, 2023. I'm trying to be biased. We in 2024. Puffy done moved on from this dude. Puffy ain't messing with this dude. Puffy ain't probably paid the dude or whatever dude, the legend. Puffy ain't paying him. Right? So, what was you doing from November 2023 till now? You know, where I'm from, if a person go this long without paying you, you ain't getting paid. Right? So, is this about you mad? Puffy used you. You not move. He moved on. He got a new boy toy. You know, I'm not saying Puffy ain't did the things he did. I'm not saying Puffy shouldn't go to prison. But I just question people's motives. You know, you had a long time. This all happened in September 2022 and 2023. You had a lot of time to from September 2022. You got a couple years to cry wolf, but you didn't. You know why? Because you wanted the fame and you wanted the glory. When you seen it wasn't gonna be no fame and no glory, and you probably done gave up your cheeks. Now you want to ruin the man. But I'm not on Diddy's side. I'm not on nobody's side. But okay, the claims raised in this complaint have been corroborated through witness statements, video, audio recordings, and images that Mr. Jones has in his possession. See, Puffy made major mistakes. He let the dude film, and as we gonna go on, he gonna say Puffy encouraged him to film. Mr. Combs required Mr. Jones to record him consistently on several occasions. Mr. Combs took Mr. Jones' cell phone and began recording himself. As a result, Mr. Jones also secured hundreds of hours of footage, audio recordings of Mr. Combs, his staff, and his guests engaged in serious illegal activities. Mr. Jones has secured irrefutable evidence of the acquisition, use, and distribution of ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and mushrooms. The displaying and distribution of unregistered illegal firearms. Mr. Combs provided laced alcohol beverages to minors and sex workers at his homes in California, New York, the Virgin Islands, and Florida. Mr. Combs' chief of staff, Christina, whatever her name is, KK, instructed her staff to retrieve drugs so she can provide it to Mr. Combs for his consumption. Christian Combs drugged and sexually assaulted a woman. That's the son. Mr. Combs detailing how he planned to leverage his relationship with Bishop. Mr. Combs detailing how he planned to leverage his relationship with Bishop T.D. Jakes to soften the impact of his public image of Cassie Ventura's lawsuit. She related to Ace Ventura. Young Miami's cousin and or assistant sexually assaulting Mr. Jones. Actor Cuban Gooding Jr. sexually harassing and assaulting Mr. Jones. Rapper redacted on Mr. Combs' yacht, consorting with underage girls, sex workers, and R&B singer redacted at Mr. Combs' Los Angeles home, consorting with underage girls and sex workers. Listen, Diddy's in a lot of trouble because this lawsuit right here, this dude, they saying he got proof, unrefutable proof. So, Diddy hiding, he on the run, but he probably gonna go to prison and he lucky, But if we listen to Gene Deal, man, Puffy ain't going to jail, man. Puffy gonna hang it up. Okay. Chalice now, Lil Rod also says there was a shooting on or about September 12, 2022. Mr. Combs held a writers and producers camp at Chalice Recording Studio at 845 Highland Ave, Los Angeles, California, 90038. These is raw addresses. I mean, I don't know if Puffy gonna be around here now, but if you're trying to get on, remember you got him from the King of Talk. At least give me a like and a subscribe for giving you the sauce. Because I'm giving you the raw addresses, which I probably get in trouble for, but whatever. What did he gonna do? Sue me, nigga, you on the run, bro. Okay, so present at this camp were Mr. Combs, his son, Justin Combs, and Justin's friend named G. Mr. G is a 30-year-old tall African-American male. In addition to these individuals, other musicians was present at the camp. This writer has spoken to several musicians who attended the camp. One evening during this camp, Mr. Combs, J. Combs, and G were in a heated conversation. The conversation was moved out of the studio and into a restroom adjacent to Mr. Jones was sitting. Mr. Jones was approximately 2 feet away from the bathroom when gunshots rang out. Mr. Jones recalled hearing multiple shots. I'm looking at these side notes. It says the writer spoke with several employees of the yacht rented by Mr. Combs in the U.S. Virgin Islands who personally witnessed defendant instructor staff Brenda Paul, Frankie Santello, and May Bynum spiked bottles of champagne with ecstasy. A complaint is forthcoming. He's a Philly rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. I'm just trying to match up this. Don't mind me, y'all. One is the writer spoke with employees on the yacht, so that's up here. Okay, I get it. But anyway, as we move on, Mr. Jones immediately went into state of shock and feared that he would be shot. Okay, this is Mr. Jones was probably 2 feet away from the bathroom when gunshots rang out. Mr. Jones recalls hearing multiple shots. Mr. Jones immediately went into the state of shock and feared that he would be shot next. Mr. Jones generally believed that he would be shot through the door due to how close he was. After the shooting ended, a crowd gathered around the restroom. When the door finally opened, Mr. Combs and Jay Combs exited. G was lying on the restroom floor in fetal position, holding his stomach and bleeding out his leg and hip area. Everyone standing around looking upon G. Frustrated by the lack of aid to G, Mr. Jones dropped everything, ran to G immediately, and began placing pressure on G's wounds to his stomach. As he was applying pressure on his stomach, Mr. Jones realized that G was gushing blood from another area near his leg hip. He decided to lift G and place him to sit on the toilet. Mr. Jones asked the crowd to call the ambulance. Mr. Jones lifted G and brought him to the ambulance at the studio's front. At this time, Mr. Combs and Justin disappeared to another part of the studio. Mr. Combs gave strict instructions to inform police that he had nothing to do with the shooting. He also forced Mr. Jones to lie to police by telling them that G was shot standing outside the studio by drive-by assailant. So, once again, now the police is here. There's a shooting in the bathroom. Mr. Jones, Lil Rod witnesses this, and he's telling, right? That's your time right there. You can tell right there and leave with the police, and you're all done with Puffy. You see? But see, at this point, when dude had got shot, Lil Rod still wanted the fame. He still wanted the fortune. So it was okay that Diddy shot somebody. It was okay that Diddy was playing with his booty. See, we ignore those. We listen to the charges and we be ready to jump down Diddy's throat. We got to look at it all. So right here, you drag the dude outside. The cops came. You could have said, hey, help me. I need to get away from this guy. You know, he just shot this guy and I know a whole bunch of other stuff. But you didn't do that. You lied. You did what you were supposed to do because you still wanted the fame. You still wanted the glory. And that's what it is. And no one ever says that. It's always, oh, Diddy's a bad guy. Diddy did this and Diddy did that. He might have. But I was always taught people can't do nothing to you that you don't want them to do. People can't do nothing to you that you don't let them do. That man let Diddy fondle his cheeks. He let these people play with his cheeks. There was many times where he could have left, but he wanted the fame and the fortune. And like Orlando Brown said, now that he realized what he had to do in the hazing and Diddy done moved on, now he want to tell. He seen Cassie get a check. Now he want a check. Everybody want to check now. But when you was going through the hazing, it was all good. So let's get back to this. Man shot outside party at Hollywood recording. Officers recall at least one person was shot at a party. Hollywood Recording Studios, police said Monday. The man in his 30s was reported shooting about 3 a.m. According to LAPD, at the location they found a man had been shot after stepping outside the studio. The man in his 30s was taken to a hospital in stable condition. He was reportedly shot in the abdomen. Sky 2 was over the scene early Monday, spotted several people sitting outside the location being questioned by the police. No information released about the suspect. So, let's go now. We go on. Mr. Jones has several corroborating witnesses who spoke with this writer anonymously due to fear of retaliation from Mr. Combs. They have agreed to speak publicly when subpoenaed. Mr. Jones has the clothing he wore that day and believes it may still have the stains and DNA of G's blood. The following screenshots of the aftermath of the restroom where G was shot by either Mr. Combs or Jay Combs. Clearly, G was not shot outside of the studios as Mr. Combs instructed his team to report to law enforcement. Mr. Combs and defendants LR, MR, UMG, and CRS provided private security for the writers' camp at the defendant CRS. The security was porous and lackluster at best. The fact that either Mr. Combs and Jay Combs were allowed to enter CRS with guns and those guns were not compensated by security is clearly a breach of duty by Mr. Combs. Defendants LR, MR, and UMG to protect Mr. Jones and the other entities of this writer's camp. As a result of the shooting, Mr. Jones is severely traumatized. Mr. Jones now suffers from PTSD, severe anxiety, depression, and insomnia. Now, you see, like if you know anything about lawsuits, those are key words for lawsuits. Oh, man, I'm suffering. You can say this. You can say all these same things after being in a car accident. That's why black people get such little money when we get into car accidents. We get 10 G's, 3 G's, 7 G's. When the white folks get 40, 50. Because they say all these things. Oh, I'm suffering from PTSD. I'm scared to ride in the car. I got severe anxiety. I got depression. How many black people in the hood is running around saying, oh, I've seen people get shot. I suffer from these things. We all should get a check. We all us black people should sue the government and say, yo, we was forced to live in the hood. We was forced to live in the ghetto. We seen people get shot. We seen people get killed. I suffer from PTSD. I got severe anxiety. I got depression. And those are key words. But, you know, maybe Diddy followed his cheeks and he ain't want to follow. But we know he ain't run. We know the police was here. He got all the evidence at this time. He could have ran here, but he stuck around. Mr. Jones was sexually harassed and assaulted by Mr. Jones. Throughout this time, living with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones was the victim of constant, unsolicited, and unauthorized groping and touching of his anus by Mr. Combs. Now, I'm going to read that again. Throughout his time living with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones was the victim of constant, unsolicited, and unauthorized groping and touching of his anus by Mr. Combs. I think I'm going to read that one more time. Throughout his time living with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones was the victim of constant, unsolicited, and unauthorized groping and touching of his anus by Mr. Combs. Now, maybe I'm dumb, maybe I'm a little stupid, maybe I'm a little special, but how do you get your asshole groped? I mean, he passed. He didn't grope his balls. He didn't say he groped my balls or he grabbed his nutsack. He didn't say that. He didn't say he smacked me on my ass. He said he groped my asshole. So were you there sitting around spreading your ass cheeks and he just rubbed your asshole? Or did you pull your pants down and sit on the toilet and did he pop up the toilet and and grope your ass? What happened? How did someone get the asshole grope? Please explain that to me. Like, unsolicited. Like, how do you just got your asshole out and somebody just walked by and fondled it? Like, I don't know, but throughout this time living with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones was a victim of constant, unsolicited, and unauthorized groping and touching of his anus by Mr. Combs. These events took place in L.A., New York, Florida, and the United States Virgin Islands. In addition to the unsolicited and unauthorized touching, Mr. Jones was forced by Mr. Combs to work in Mr. Combs' bathroom as Mr. Combs walked around naked and showered in a clear glass enclosure. In addition to the unsolicited, unauthorized and touching, Mr. Jones was forced by Mr. Combs to work in Mr. Combs' bathroom as Mr. Combs walked around naked and showered in a clear glass enclosure. So, let me get this right. I make beats. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, that sound good. Yo, play that guitar. Bang, 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 bang. Yo, play that flute. Yo, come in the bathroom so I can fondle your asshole. Yo, come over here in the bathroom while I walk around naked and do what? You're a producer, bro, so he gave you a job to work in the bathroom while he's showering. That don't even make no sense, bro. You was lying. You was having a gay relationship with Mr. Combs and taking showers and shit with that man. And you're trying to get the bag, but you're trying to make it sound like you did a little bit as possible. I walked her, Mr. Combs, in addition to unsolicited and unauthorized touching, Mr. Jones was forced by Mr. Combs to work in Mr. Combs' bathroom as Mr. Combs walked around naked and showered in a clear glass enclosure. Well, I'm sorry, man. I don't care if it's Diddy. I don't care who it is. If I make beats and do music and you say go work in the bathroom, you walking around naked, come on, bro. I'm not doing that. But as a heterosexual Christian male, Mr. Jones is uncomfortable with Mr. Combs' advances and expresses discomfort to Mr. Combs' chief of staff, KK. KK responded to Mr. Jones' complaint with, "You know Sean will be Sean." KK also attempted to downplay Mr. Jones' groping of Mr. Jones' anus and genitals. See, now, when she's involved, he downplayed anus and genitals. But up here, now remind you, this is what Mr. Jones is saying. He groped my anus. Didn't say nothing about his genitals. But now down here, when it's involved, when he talking to her, it's his genitals and his anus. But anyways, I don't know who be laying around with the anus out for somebody just to grope it. But anyway, as friendly horseplay, KK also attempted to downplay Mr. Combs' groping of Mr. Jones and genitals as friendly horseplay, stating that those acts were Mr. Combs' way of showing that he likes you, Mr. Jones. So, yo, I'm going to walk up to my man and rub his asshole and yo, man, it's love, man. It's love. Despite the assurances on several occasions when Mr. Combs began to undress and walk around his house naked, KK would say, "Okay, I'm leaving now," and she would disappear. KK's hypocrisy is breathtaking at the best or enabling at worst. Mr. Jones believes that KK aided and abetted Mr. Combs' sexually assault of him and was working with Mr. Combs to groom him into accepting a homosexual relationship. No female can make me or shouldn't be able to make no man accept a gay relationship. Miss Jones believed that KK aided and abetted Mr. Combs' sexual assault of him and was working with Mr. Combs to groom him into accepting a homosexual relationship. Through these sexual deviance acts, one would say Mr. Combs has a pattern and practice of engaging in sex nefarious activities. This ongoing conduct shows that Mr. Combs cannot be rehabilitated. Jeez. They saying, yo, he just keep doing this shit. So I guess he gonna have to register as a level 3. I think that's the top one in Massachusetts, even though Diddy don't live in Massachusetts. But what I'm saying is he would have to register as a level 3 because he just can't be rehabilitated. Okay, so Mr. Combs' attempt to groom Mr. Jones into engage in sex. Mr. Combs was aware that Mr. Jones looked up to and idolized music producer Stevie Aaron Jordan. Stevie J. Stevie J is American. Hold on. Stevie J is an American DJ producer, record producer, and television personality. Stevie J was part of the Bad Boy Records production team at Hitman. In 1997, Stevie J won a Grammy Award for his work on Puff Daddy's debut album. But, we not going to, go through all that he produced for artists like Mariah Carey, Trevor Campbell, Biggie, One Tel, Jodeci, Faith, Jay-Z, Eve. And he was a producer on the Love album, and you also know him from Love and Hip Hop. He was messing with Jocelyn, and now the snake is with Biggie wife. Mr. Combs used access to Stevie J and his knowledge of Mr. Jones' admiration of Stevie J to groom and entice Mr. Jones to engage in homosexuality. Mr. Combs went so far to share the video of Stevie J. Mr. Combs went so far as to share a video of Stevie J annually penetrating a Caucasian male without a condom. This was done to ease Mr. Jones' anxiety concerning homosexuality, according to Mr. Jones. This is normal practice in the music industry. Look, even Stevie J is doing it. Mr. Combs informed Mr. Jones that he had engaged in sexual intercourse with rapper Redacted, R&B singer Redacted, and Stevie J. So, that R&B singer is number 6. Let's go down to the bottom. Number 6, he performed at the Super Bowl and had a successful Vegas residency. Well, we know Usher performed at the Super Bowl and he was in Vegas for a residency. Mr. Combs promised to make sure Mr. Jones wins Producer of the Year at the Grammys if he engaged in homosexuality. The following are screenshots of the video of Stevie J penetrating a Caucasian male that Mr. Combs provided to Mr. Jones. I can't say that's Stevie J. Number 5, he is a Philly rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. That was the Philly rapper. We know that's Meek. His writer's in possession of the video and will provide a copy to the court. That motherfucker got a haircut like Stevie J. Thanksgiving 2022. Mr. Jones is sexually assaulted by Young Miami's cousin. So this dude was just getting passed around. But once again, he never left. Because once again, he wanted the fame. He wanted the limelight. Hold on 1 second, man. My phone died. Even though it's 2 a.m. on the East Coast, I still need my goddamn phone. Hold on. Sorry about that. So on Thanksgiving Day 2022, Mr. Jones was in Mr. Combs' house located in Miami, Florida. Young Miami and her female cousin was also present. Mr. Combs was intoxicated and offered cocaine to Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones rejected him and proceeded to walk to the restroom. While using the restroom, Young Miami cousin burst in the bathroom and began groping Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones believed that Mr. Combs sent her in there to sexually assault Mr. Jones. So now you telling me this dude don't want no kitty cat. He's being fondled on his anus because people just have their anus, they just be sitting on the couch with their anus out for somebody just to fondle. Like, oh, I was in the kitchen and I just had my anus out and Diddy fondled it. But that's what it is. And now you don't want no girls? You complaining about the girls? Or you just making up stuff? As he entered the bathroom, she dropped to her knees and began performing oral sex on Mr. Jones' exposed penis. Mr. Jones pushed her away and exited the bathroom. So, I'm expected to believe that you was hanging with Diddy and Diddy's sleeping with all these girls and you didn't want that head? I'm pretty sure you took that head. But for lawsuit purposes, I pushed her away. So, Young Miami's cousin did not accept Mr. Jones' rejection as she proceeded to follow Mr. Jones out the bathroom. She started undressing and attempted to straddle him and have sex with him in the presence of Mr. Combs and his staff. So, this dude was getting touched in his booty hole, and he ain't want no cat. I'm sorry, I don't believe that. Once again, Mr. Jones pushed her off. The following are images from a video of Young Miami and her cousin, Mr. Jones and Mr. Combs. Mr. Jones and Mr. Combs on Thanksgiving Day, right before Mr. Combs invited Mr. Jones into the restroom, attempt to force him to take cocaine. Now, why do the stories always change from one line to the next? Like right here, it says on Thanksgiving Day, and offered cocaine to Mr. Jones, which rejected him and proceeded to walk to the restroom, right? So, here he says Diddy offered him cocaine. Nah, I don't want that. He left, got up, and went to the bathroom. But then as soon as we got down here, it says, once again, Mr. Jones pushed her off. Nope. Mr. Jones and Mr. Combs on Thanksgiving, right before Mr. Combs invited Mr. Jones into the restroom and attempted to force him to take cocaine. Up there, you say he offered you cocaine and you walked away. Now it's, he invited me to the bathroom to offer me cocaine. Young Miami and her female cousin who sexually assaulted Mr. Jones on Thanksgiving Day. What are you mad? Because she was a chunky girl? She looked thick? Out Diddy, where you at, man? Diddy, you hiding? If you got Young Miami and her cousin with you, come get me, man. I'm in Massachusetts, man. Sit in the jet, man. Sit in the jet, because she can give me head. She can do all those things to me, man. Sit in the jet. You can't follow me, though, Diddy. I'm not with all that. I'm telling you straight up, and I watched the Cat Williams video. He said, you just gotta tell Diddy no. So I'm telling you now, Diddy no, but I'll take a hit from the team. Shorty look a little thick. You know, I'm like, B, don't leave a girl around me to play it for real. So I'll be doing Young Miami soon. But, okay, now we got the Trafficking and Victims Protection Act. Excuse me. Throughout this time, Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones was transferred from California to New York, Florida, and the United States Virgin Islands. During this time, Mr. Jones was forced to solicit sex workers and perform sex acts to the pleasure of Mr. Jones. So, you're laying around, you're getting your asshole bundled. You're getting heads from girls and they trying to give you something. And sounds like you living a great life of a music producer. But you say you ain't want none of it. Now you saying you was forced to solicit sex workers and perform sex acts. Well, you was doing this from 2022 to now, right? Or a couple months, 4 months y'all been working with the feds, right? You had a lot of time to run, bro. But guess what? Like I've been saying, they want the fame, they want the fortune, and like my boy Lando Brown said, the hazing. But once the hazing go on and you find out Diddy moved on and you ain't make the team, you like, oh man, I left my asshole on the couch for you to find though, and I still didn't make the team. I'm suing. Damn, man, I took Big Cousin for the team so you and Young Miami could go in there and do your thing. Cause Young Miami run shit and she ain't wanna let me share the cousin, so I sicked her on you. You ain't running. You mad. You ain't run that day. You had a lot of time to run, bruh. But during this time, Mr. Jones was forced to select sex workers and perform sex acts for the pleasure of Mr. Combs. On or about February 4th, 2023, Mr. Combs forced Mr. Jones to bring prostitutes and sex workers back to his home in Miami, Florida. Where did you go? On the corner, this writer is in possession of a video and will provide a copy to the court. The sex workers that Mr. Combs forced Mr. Jones to bring back to his home on or about February 2nd, 2023, Mr. Jones believed Mr. Combs drugged him. Mr. Jones recalls waking up naked, dizzy, and confused. He was in bed with two sex workers and Mr. Combs. He also recalls aimlessly wandering around the house with no clothes on. That's what y'all did. You said it before. Did he be naked? And you gotta be naked for your asshole to be out to get found, though. Your cheeks gotta be spread. Your ass gotta be up in the air. Your asshole just don't be out to be fondled, bro. He didn't smack you in your cheeks. You clearly said he fondled your asshole. So your asshole just be laying out, and he fondled it. I'm just saying. My asshole ain't never out. I don't fondle assholes. But I think if you got your asshole just laying around and got it out, it's okay to be fondled. That's just my opinion. I mean, I'm just saying. If that's what you into assholes, and it's just out laying around, somebody gonna fondle that motherfucker. But Mr. Jones requires waking up, naked, dizzy, and confused. He was in bed with two sex workers and Mr. Combs. He also recalls wandering around the house with no clothes on. I don't know what that's. The video, sex workers and Mr. Jones bed in the morning after being on another occasion in Miami, Florida on Thanksgiving night of 22. Mr. Combs asked Mr. Jones and DeForest Taylor to enter the studio bathroom. He asked them for $100 bill because he wanted to do cocaine with him. Mr. Jones was scared, but luckily he didn't have $100 bill, so Mr. Combs waited a little longer to do the coke with Young Miami. So he just putting everybody out there. He's saying Young Miami was sniffing coke. And Puffy, later that evening, he required Mr. Jones to solicit sex workers from Booby Trap on the river located at. That's where the Booby Trap, that's where you can get the hoes at in Florida, man. Mr. Jones did so, and Mr. Jones forced him to engage in unsolicited sexual acts with these workers. That's a picture of the Booby Trap. Guess that's a strip club. And if you a strip club and you got a little minivan like this, you definitely shipping the pussy out. As part of Mr. Jones' sex worker recruitment tools, Mr. Combs provided Mr. Jones with an exclusive bad boy baseball cap and required him to wear it to the Booby Trap on the river as a signal to any sex worker he approached that Mr. Combs was in town and had sent Mr. Jones to recruit. Now, Mr. Jones sent you to the Booby Trap. Once again, I always say, nobody not going to do nothing you don't let them do. So this is another incident. He was sent. He didn't say he was sent with people. He was sent to the Booby Trap to bring people back, right? Why he ain't run? I'll wait. Why he ain't go to the police station? Because he was enjoying his time. He's getting head. He got his asshole out on the kitchen table getting fondled. He's enjoying it. He wanted to be famous. He wanted that award that Diddy promised him. So it was okay. But then once again, Diddy moves on. Diddy finds a new asshole to fondle. Maybe the other guy leaves his asshole out better. I don't know. But he wasn't fucking with you. Now you want to get paid. You see Cassie get paid, you want to get paid. Mr. Jones has no desire to visit the booby trap. Mr. Jones has no desire to solicit sex workers from the booby trap on the river. Mr. Combs used his power and influence to imitate and force Mr. Jones into soliciting sex workers from booby trap on the river as detailed below. Mr. Combs used many tactics to maintain domain and control of Mr. Jones. Apparently, these workers were accustomed to service in Mr. Combs and would know that he was in town by the sight of the bad boy's baseball cap. So Diddy had a signal. So, if you're down in Florida, right, do me a favor. And you see this video, go into the booby trap, get you a bad boy's hat, go into the booby trap and see what happens. If you get some free booty, call me. Tell them Diddy sent you. Call me. Let me know. Because I'm going to come down there with my bad boy hat and be like, yo, you know he hiding. I know where he at. But you got to come with me first. Give me a little something, something, something. We going to put it on Diddy bill. And I'm going to put you on the Diddy, but I got to check and make sure everything's good. We got to lay up a little bit. Make sure the police don't kick the door in. You know. But if you down by the booby trap, going up in there with your Diddy hat on, and the girl's going to know you with Diddy, that got to get you something free. Mr. Jones had no desire to solicitate or have sex with individuals in the previous paragraph. Mr. Jones was intimidated for soliciting and sleeping with these women. So these are women he's picking up. Okay, he ain't forcing them to do the guys. The following is the phone number of another sex worker that Mr. Combs required Mr. Jones to solicitate and perform sex acts with at his home in Miami, Florida. Booby Trap Miami. He got that one, man. Saved up under Booby Trap Miami. Mr. Jones had no desire to solicitate or have sex with the individual in the previous paragraph. Mr. Cohen and Mr. Jones sleeping with the individuals above. Hey, man. I need a friend like Diddy, man. Diddy gets your head. Get the girls that be riding you. He pick you up girls from the club. But once again, I'm not with the following booty part. And I'm not even worried about I don't leave my asshole out. It just don't be sitting on the table. Or my asshole just don't be sitting on the kitchen sink like, yo, asshole on the sink, Diddy? Nah, that shit wrong. Oh. And we both gonna have our clothes on. And nah. And dude come out naked. He only gotta come out naked for me one time. Either I ain't gonna be hanging there no more, or I'm gonna be like, listen, Diddy, man. Listen, it's another man in the house, bro. You gotta come out with at least a t-shirt and some boxes on. But let's get back to this. Mr. Comey used many tactics to maintain domain and control of Mr. Jones. He promised him a Grammy for Producer of the Year. You see? He promised me a Grammy, man. He said, yo, if I left my booty hole by the bathroom sink, he was going to get me the Producer of the Year for the Love album. So he stayed around. He did it. He offered him $250,000 to purchase all the instruments he wanted. He promised him ownership of his $20 million property, Star Island in Miami, Florida. He promised access to record label executives like the Finnish Lucius Charles Grange in Ethiopia. See? That's what I keep telling you. If you read this shit, you see people's real motives. He wanted all of that. He wanted that Grammy. He wanted that $250,000 with the instruments. He wanted Star Island. He really thought, man, I'm gonna bend over. Diddy gonna give it to me. I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna be successful. He fell into that. And like Orlando Brown said, with all hazing, once you get hazed and see you went a little too far and you didn't make it, people be mad. That boy booty hole wide open. Feces just falling out. He just be, hey, how you doing? Oh, hold on, gotta go to the bathroom. Shit just falling out. Diddy done ruined them, passed them around. And now he want to ruin Diddy. Him and Cassie. You participated. I was always taught and raised to believe nobody can do nothing you don't want them to do to you. But anyway, Mr. Combs would often switch up his approach. He would go from promising Mr. Jones the world to threatening Mr. Jones with physical harm. Mr. Combs threatened to eat Mr. Jones' face and informed Mr. Jones that he was willing to kill his mother, Janice Combs, if he must in order to get what he wants. So he would think twice to harm. He wouldn't think twice to harm Mr. Jones. So he said, man, I killed my own mama. I mean, a lot of dudes in the hood say that. They don't really mean it. It's just an expression of how far they would go. But I guess, I mean, Gene Deal said he don't really give a fuck about his mom. So I guess Mr. Combs and Jay Combs solicited drugs and engaged in illicit sex acts with minors and sex workers. I tell you what, Lil Rod got his shit down packed. He's giving you dates, specific dates. He ain't saying around July. He's saying July 2nd. In California, Mr. Combs had a listening party at his home. Present at his listening party was R&B artist Redacted. So we go down here to 9. Let's see who that is. We don't want to wait till later. He's a Grammy Award-winning singer who had trouble with the law after assaulting a... Oh, I don't even know who that is. But what are hippie Oh, they saying that's Rihanna. Okay. So they saying that's artist. Present at this party was an R&B artist Redacted, J. Combs, sex workers, and some underage girls. The event began at 7 p.m. Mr. Combs requested female sex workers and required Mr. Jones to solicitate them. An hour later, several sex workers appeared. In addition to sex workers, there were at least 5 women in that crowd that were under the age of 16. So, boom. Here's something no one else paid attention to, right? He goes and picks up the sex workers. Not Diddy. We done seen more than one occasion where Little Rod goes and picks up the sex workers. So if you come back with underage sex workers, you came back with them young girls, right? Not Diddy, right? So I think another thing that probably happened, Little Rod was going to jail too. But he's just the dude that's telling now. You know, he trying to make it like, oh, I'm coming out and telling. Nah, you was going to jail. You got caught picking up sex workers. And everybody trying to probably, oh, it's because of the Cassie case. Nah, this dude got caught picking up them sex workers. And he been working ever since. Because not once did Diddy go and get any of those girls. So once Diddy get them back to the crib, I mean, they just getting naked. They just giving head. We already see what they doing. So he not asking for ID. He sent his man to get the chicks, and this man should be checking ID. But anyways, that's just my thought. Mr. Combs forced all the women to drink Lace de Leon liquor upon information and belief. Mr. Combs laced the liquor with ecstasy. Mr. Combs did not check the identification of these underage girls. Right, because you went and got them. Oh, Diddy beating this. You went and got them. You didn't check them. I'm pretty sure Diddy's going to say, his lawyer's going to say, yo, when I sent you to the club to pick up the workers, I sent you to a 21 and over club, so you expect them to all be in 21. And you're supposed to make sure they over 21. The president of these underage women made Mr. Jones very uncomfortable, but you went and got him. See, it says the event began at 7 p.m. Mr. Combs requested female sex workers and required Mr. Jones to solicitate them. An hour later, several sex workers appeared. So Mr. Jones, little Rod went and got them underage girls, not Puffy. Once they at the crib, I mean, I guess he should be checking ID, but I sent my man. Just like R. Kelly, I said, my man should be checking ID. I'm the bag. You should be making sure, all these girls of age. I can't have Diddy go to jail. He the bag. And at that time, you still wanted to be fame and fortunate because you ain't ran. The reason you ain't ran because you had already got caught and was already working. You probably was sent to set Diddy up. And not that I like Diddy. I don't care nothing about Diddy. His money don't do a damn thing for me. He can do 20 years, he can do 100 years, or he can do no years. It doesn't change my life. I'm just stating the obvious things that I think Diddy's lawyers would point out. Okay, Mr. Combs forced all the women, Lace, De Leon, liquor, upon information. He did not check the age. The presence of these underage women made Mr. Jones very uncomfortable. He attempted to leave, and Mr. Combs forced him to stay. Mr. Combs went so far as to take Mr. Jones' car keys to prevent him from leaving. Called Uber. After being forced to drink Lace De Leon shots, Mr. Jones began feeling lightheaded and recalled passing out and waking up at 4 a.m. following morning naked with a sex worker sleeping next to him. Screenshots of a video from the night is embedded below. No, they said Rihanna. That is a he. Oh, Chris Brown assaulted Rihanna. So, they saying Chris Brown was with the underage girls. Okay. And Rihanna's the billionaire. Okay. Mr. Combs with the underage female. So, you see, this is how you know Lil Rod was setting Diddy up. This is how you know Diddy's lawyers, if they could, they should beat the case. Because look, Mr. Combs was okay, if you knew these girls was underage and you taking pictures, you went to got the girls. So you got the underage girls. You probably met the feds. Yeah, he sent me to pick some girls up. And the feds probably sent them girls in there. Because why would you know to take pictures? You just took pictures of all the girls. You a creeper. But anyway, these are pictures of Diddy with the chicks. Justin Combs with an underage female, but he underage, ain't he? Mr. Combs attempted to pass off Mr. Jones to Cuban Jr. So, yeah, Puffy was just passing you around and you mad that Puffy don't want you no more. I think that's where this is heading. Mr. Jones believes that Mr. Combs was grooming him to pass him off to his friend. The fear became reality when Mr. Combs introduced Mr. Jones to Cuban Jr. while they were on Mr. Combs' yacht. During to introduce, Mr. Combs suggested that Cuban get to know Mr. Jones better, and then he left them alone in a makeshift studio on the yacht. That's Cuban Gooding Jr. and Puffy. As evidenced by a video which screenshots are embedded below, Cuban Gooding Jr. began touching, groping, and following Mr. Jones' legs, his upper and his thighs, near his groin, the small of his back, near his buttocks, and his shoulders. Mr. Jones was extremely uncomfortable and proceeded to lean away from Mr. Gooding Jr. He rejected his advances. Mr. Gooding Jr. did not stop until Mr. Jones forcefully pushed him away. The following is a screenshot of the encounter with Cuban Gooding Jr. Look at Cuban, all up on him. Look like he ready to kiss him. Throughout his time with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones was under an implied work-for-hire agreement. He was not compensated for his time living with Mr. Combs or for the songs he produced. As evidence, he was listed as producer for the following songs on the Love albums finally released: Deliver Me, Stay, Part 1, Reaching, What's Love, Stay a While, Moments Needed, Somebody, Homecoming, and Touch Love. Mr. Combs, the defendant, LR, Mr. R, you are all benefited from Mr. Jones' work product. They failed to compensate Mr. Jones for his work. As a result, Mr. Combs, the defendant, LR, MR, UMK were all unjustly enriched at the expense of Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones attempted to work with Mr. Combs to secure his publishing and royalty rights for the work he completed on the Love album. Mr. Combs only offered Mr. Jones $29,000 for 13 months, thousands of hours of work, and 9 songs that made it to the Love album. Ironically, Mr. Jones was willing to take $50,000, his publishings and royalties. Mr. Combs' self-serving greed would not allow him to pay Mr. Jones an additional $21,000. Oh, see, down here it also says that the writer, which is Mr. Jones, Lil Rod, him and a couple other people are going to be suing in a couple weeks. Mr. Combs' deceptive business practice became so bad that Mr. Jones was left with no choice other than to make public plea of social media for Mr. Combs to pay him for his work. After he publicly requested Mr. Combs do the right thing and pay him fairly, Mr. Jones received an onslaught of threatening messages from Stevie J and Love Records A&R Defrost Taylor. You playing? I'm in studio. You 100% liar and weirdo. Good luck. Number still saying, run into a nigga. Come talk to me in public on a public podcast and forum. Mr. Combs uses powers and influence to threaten and intimidate Mr. Jones. According to Mr. Jones, Mr. Combs is very forceful and demanding. Mr. Combs does not take no for an answer and would often threaten to inflict bodily harm on Mr. Jones if Mr. Jones did not comply with his demands, as detailed above. Mr. Combs threatened to eat Mr. Jones' face. On other occasions, while standing with Mr. Combs While standing in Mr. Combs' bedroom, Mr. Jones was forced to watch Mr. Combs display his guns and brag about getting away with shooting people. Mr. Combs shared that he was responsible for shooting in a nightclub in New York City with rapper Shine. He shared that the artist and Mr. Combs' girlfriend at the time, Jennifer Lopez, aka J-Lo, carried the gun into the club for him and passed him the gun after he got into an altercation with another individual. How the fuck? The shooting in Club South recorded studios confirmed Mr. Combs' statements. These statements reinforced Mr. Jones' fear of Mr. Combs and strengthened Mr. Combs' domain and control of Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones was terrified of Mr. Combs. He felt like he could not tell him no. Mr. Combs consistently made it clear that he has immense power in the music industry and with law enforcement. And Mr. Combs made it clear that his head of security, Mr. Muhammad, has the power to make people and problems disappear. So Diddy was threatening to kill this dude. Diddy was doing a whole bunch. So he said. But he said he wasn't scared up until the bathroom shooting. But that was like a year after working with him. You could have been ran up until then. And then the day of the shooting, if you was decided you was so scared, the police came. You could have just jumped into the police lap with your hanging out asshole, because you just leave it laying around, and said, man, Diddy's hurting me. Officer, please help. That's the security. Mr. Combs instructs the staff to always contact Mr. Muhammad if they are ever pulled over by the police in Miami or California. Upon information and belief, Mr. Muhammad spoke with the LAPD after G was shot at the CRS. The LAPD was in the CRS and witnessed the blood in the restroom. They went with the bogus claim that the shooting of G occurred outside the studio. This was all thanks to Mr. Muhammad's connections within law enforcement. Mr. Jones had no reason to believe Mr. Combs, as he had no reason to disbelieve Mr. Combs, as he had seen personally into the shooting of G and other subsequent silence of the LAPD and the media that Mr. Combs indeed had the power to harm him. The LAPD spent hours in CRS after the shooting of G, yet there were no arrests. Mr. Jones witnessed the LAPD in the restroom, pictured above, yet no arrests were made. The morning after the shooting, Mr. Jones and several others arrived at CRS, and G's blood was still on the floor of the restroom, and Mr. Combs hired a cleaning crew to clean it up. Mr. Jones recalls seeing defendant Graves visiting Mr. Combs' home in Florida. According to Mr. Jones, whenever defendant Granger visited Mr. Combs' home, it would be in the evening, and Mr. Combs would disappear for hours in Mr. Combs' bedroom. Defendant Granger sponsored and attended several Love album listening parties at Mr. Combs' homes in Los Angeles. So I guess he's saying Diddy was sleeping with the dude from the record company. These parties were sponsored by defendants MR, LR, and UMR. As evidence above, these parties had sex workers and underage girls present. During these parties, defendant Grange knew or should have known that Mr. Combs was drugging the attendees through lace bottles of De Leon, tequila, and Ciroc. It is no secret that Mr. Combs had Pacific bottles of alcohol designated for females and other bottles designated for his staff, his artists, and himself. The fact was detailed by former artists and bodyguards of Mr. Combs. As sponsor of these events, defendant Granger had a duty and obligation to ensure that sex workers and underage girls was not present and that Mr. Combs was not spiking the alcohol with date rape drugs. On YouTube channel, The Art of the Dialogue, former bodyguard Gene Dale exposed Mr. Combs' pill mixing methods using despite cranberry juice and orange juice. According to Mr. Dale, Mr. Combs would place ecstasy and other date rape drugs in the juices. On YouTube, The Art of the Dialogue, former artist Mark Curry exposed Mr. Combs spiking bottles of wet champagne in the VIP section of the nightclub. Mr. Combs would have a set of wet champagne bottles for the artists and a set for women. Hey man, I've been on here for a couple hours. I think I'm gonna take a break right here on page 29. And I'll do part 2 tomorrow. If you see this video, if you're watching and you want to see more of this, hit the like, subscribe, share, comment. Let me know. But for now, it's 2:29 a.m. on the East Coast. And I'm getting tired and I'm going to take a break. Holla at your boy.